What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conrail's Boston Line. Happy New Year. I thought it was time to give everyone an update for 2026 to show you progress along the layout. And I figure the best way to do it is to watch some trains run. So today we're going to follow TV6 as it departs State Line and heads towards Beacon Park, Massachusetts. Conrail's TV trains, or also known as terminal velocity, were some of the highest priority trains on Conrail. And oftentimes you would see TV trains out in front and then general merchandise and bulk trains following. Maybe we'll get lucky today and see something following TV6. We're starting our video today at State Line on the border of New York and Massachusetts near the town of Canaan, New York. Our next stop on the Boston Line is Pittsfield, Massachusetts, right at the Pittsfield Amtrak station, and on our layout, Control Point 150. Here we see TV6 lighting up the signals as it makes its way east. Pittsfield is an important location on Conrail's Boston Line. There was a yard here, and a local crew was based out of it. Conrail's WAPI-10 was on duty in Pittsfield, so I decided to replicate the same train, and I printed up signs so that operators can find their way around the railroad. Conrail's small Pittsfield yard was their interchange with the Housatonic Railroad, and there was enough traffic to have a daily local. Just west of the Pittsfield yard was this bridge over the east branch of the Housatonic River. Here is my bridge, replicating the same scene as we watch TV6 go across. We're skipping ahead to Control Point 147, a spot where Conrail had these iconic three-headed G-type signals. Here we see TV6 knocking down the clear as it goes under the bridge in Pittsfield. Moving ahead to the next location is Hinsdale, Massachusetts. Hinsdale is known as the top of the hill in the Berkshires and makes an awesome railfan location. The gazebo right in the center of town is a great place to sit back and watch trains. In an effort to recreate Hinsdale the best I could, I actually printed out a screenshot from Google Maps Street View. The gazebo is right in the center of town, and there are great places to eat. Just past the town is this grassy field, also known as the Plateau. I recently added a team track here that has some maintenance of way equipment and a couple camp cars. It looks like Conrail is getting ready to do another track project. We just happened to stop back trackside at CP 147 in Pittsfield to see if anything was following TV6. I had a hunch they had something coming, and wouldn't you know, something is lighting up the signals. And wouldn't you know, hot on the heels of TV6 is ML 482, a unit auto rack train from Collinwood Yard in Cleveland, Ohio to Framingham, Massachusetts. ML 482 really has a roll on as we skip ahead to Hinsdale and barely get there in time before it comes through town. Here we are at CP 107 in Westfield, Massachusetts, a spot where the old New Haven Railroad Canal Line crosses Conrail's Boston Line on a set of diamonds. This crossing remained until the early 2000s when CSX eventually removed them. The crossing led to a small yard and interchange with the Pioneer Valley Railroad. Here we see ML 482 banging the diamonds. Here we are at CP 105, still in Westfield, Massachusetts, and we have a great close-up view of the signal huts that I've been adding and the small control point signs that really bring the railroad to life. Our next stop is Control Point 100 in West Springfield, Massachusetts. We can see TV6 coming through the yard and the sign that we just added to the railroad showing operators where the West Springfield Intermodal Yard is. One of the jobs for TV9, which is based out of Palmer, is to stop here and interchange traffic before it continues up to State Line. CP 98 in West Springfield, Massachusetts is another great railfan spot. Here we see ML 482 crossing the Connecticut River, slamming the diamonds, crossing the former B&M Connecticut River line, and coming through the West Springfield Amtrak station. The small dwarf signals still remain to this day. We're back at Control Point 105 in Westfield, Massachusetts. And here we see what was TV6 has now turned and is now heading back west as TV9 from Worcester, Massachusetts to Englewood Yard in Chicago. The bridge in Westfield, Massachusetts over US 202 claimed many a roof on a tractor-trailer, as the clearances were very tight. Here is my scratch-built bridge replicating this iconic New England scene. TV9 is grinding up the mountain as it approaches Control Point 147 and Hinsdale, Massachusetts, the top of the Berkshire Mountains. This scene, I tried to replicate the railroad cutting through a mountain with a nice rock face. Off to the right is a small industry served by WAPI. And one last look at Hinsdale. In our last scene today, we're back in eastern New York watching an auto rack train snake through the cuts and fills in the mountains. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch Conrail's Boston Line. I hope you all enjoyed the updates. Any comments or questions, please leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the next video.